What if Season 1, Episode 3, the Avengers episode, this one was a little bit more intense than the other ones. This one was actually pretty good as far as the death count. I mean, I just might as well say it. I think more people died in this one, more important characters, than any other one so far. It's a murder mystery. It's a whodunit. You got to figure out what's going on. You, as the audience, are the detective, trying to find out who's killing who. I didn't guess it. I'm a comic book guy, you know. I've been reading comic books since I was like 8 or something like that, and I thought I knew everything. I know a lot, but I couldn't figure it out. You know, the way that these people were dying. I'll go ahead and say it. Somebody is murdering the Avengers, and the way that they're dying, I couldn't figure out who it was. You know, an invisible person, maybe mind control, some type of energy manipulation. It was all over the place. I saw a comic book when I was real young. I saw this one comic book, and they had to try to figure out this brand new superhero's power. He only had one power, but he was doing a bunch of stuff. He flew through the air, and then he stood there and he put his hands on his fist, all superhero style, and they shot at him. The bullets bounced off his chest. I'm like, well, this is Superman in disguise. He had superhuman strength. You know, I was like, wow, what is that? You know, he put his hand on the side of his head and people couldn't touch him. I was like, well, it's Professor X. You couldn't figure out what his powers was. He only had, according to the comic book, one superpower. He had telekinesis, so he could make himself fly. He could block the bullets. He was pretending that he had mind powers, but he was freezing people so that they couldn't move. It was ingenious. They thought he had super strength, but he was actually touching the bell bars, and he was lifting them with his mind, with his brain, man. He had one superpower. I say that to say this. The murderer or murderers essentially used one superpower, but it looked like a bunch of different things. It looked like a bunch of different people, a bunch of different things, a bunch of different, stuff was happening, man. It was good because I couldn't figure it out at first. And then once I realized what was going on, I was like, that was clever. I thought it was clever. And I'm curious about the implications of what would happen in that world after someone kills the Avengers. But it kind of gives you a glimpse of what happens next. So it was good. The Avengers are getting knocked off, and of course, this happens before they actually become Avengers. These are the Avengers Initiative, people who are being picked to become Avengers. And Loki, of course, comes down all full of anger and vengeance. Actually, not so much, not really. But he comes down with the army and says he's going to destroy the earth because one of the Avengers was Thor, and Thor's dead. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to destroy the earth. So that makes a whole nother thing happening. It was good. I enjoyed this one. A lot of the voiceovers, even some of the smaller parts, a lot of the voiceovers were the original cast members from the movie, which was kind of good. Not all of them, but some of them. I kind of enjoy it when they do that, when they bring the guys back. That was kind of cool. But this episode was not bad. It wasn't the best episode, and I'm curious about where they're going next. I kind of wish they could just drop all of them at one time. It's a streaming network. Just throw them all out there, man. Let's look at them the way we want to. But they're keeping us in suspense. It's kind of good. I mean, when I get to the next episode, I'm like, oh, what's going on next? I'm very interested. But this one, it's a murder mystery, and I dig the way that the Watcher is showing up in the scenes. All Alfred Hitchcock, like, Alfred Hitchcock was in all of his movies. and the Watcher is in the scenes. You know, things are happening. You're like, that's the face of the Watcher. You know, stuff is happening like that. It's kind of cool. So I dug this episode. In fact, I dug it so much that I would give this episode 8 bags of popcorn. 8 bags of popcorn. Because that's what I thought. More importantly, what do you think? Now that you've seen the video, let's talk about it in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. And then like.
Popcorn passport.